We were right all along for choosing Moose to be the mascot of this season. I don't know how we knew it, but we knew it. Spoiler alert for anybody just tuning in now, or I don't know, just not paying attention to the news. But yeah, we were right.
It's funny too, because there have been a number of times where we have just said the most random things, or like this season, we just decided to love Moose all but, 2 episodes. And we've done this before. Um, we have, let me lay it out there. We have zero inside track at any of these companies. I don't know. There's one dude that wrestles at Palmetto Championship Wrestling that I've spoken to one time. Outside of that, I have no in with anybody in the wrestling business. But yeah, Moose is the new Impact World Champion. Is
And what?
real messed up how he got there, but yeah, let's hit Bound for Glory.
Yeah, I mean it's the freshest in either one of our minds because we just basically finished watching it. We'll start with the end there. Like, yeah, Christian Cage and Josh Alexander had a good match. Before that match, it really hammered home like Josh Alexander's family life, the fact that he hasn't really had a major chance at a world title or anything, like his 15 plus year career at this point. And spent a lot of time with his family, his kids, spent a lot of time in that match showing his family and kids in that front row, kid, not kids. But and then when he wins, it was a real sweet moment, bringing his kid in there, his wife in there. And guess who can't even wait even just a moment for that kid and his wife to get out of there. And yes, it is our beloved friend Moose who called his shot. He won the Call Your Shot gauntlet earlier that night, which actually surprised me. I called for that on our prediction show, and he won it. So yeah, and now he hit that kind of spear he's got, and his finishing move, and that's it. We got a new world champion.
Yeah, it was a super dick move that he didn't even give the family time to get out of the ring. I'm pretty sure when he hit that spear, his leg kicked up and like caught the kid in the side. I was trying to double check it, but the Fight app is not the most user friendly. So
yeah,
if you are like me and you try to watch everything through a streaming device, or in my case, I was trying to watch it streaming straight through my TV, you can only fast forward and rewind 30 seconds at a time.
wow.
And it stalls each time you press the button to like catch up with itself. So the 3 times this show locked up after Moose won that Call Your Shot gauntlet, it took me a good 15 minutes or so to get back to where I was in the show, only for it to lock up on me again. So yeah, Fight sucks. Impact, if you could please consider. I know this is going to be a real weird ask because it's also not a great service, but BR Live is at least more functional than this.
Well, at least BR Live was. The Bleacher Report issue on this last time around wasn't the best. Just the regular Bleacher Report, but whatever. We don't have to worry about it in November for Full Gear because we will be there. So that'll be great. With friend of the show Michelle as well. She'll be. We'll try to see if we can get her on the podcast as well post Full Gear, which we hope is going to be a Hangman celebration, but that's a story for later. What else? I know you liked the X Division match.
Yeah, the X Division match was incredible. I'm not terribly familiar with El Phantasmo, and that dude was just all over the place. It was nuts to watch. And you could definitely see at various points the veteran nature of Trey Miguel, because he saved a handful of would be pretty bad missteps. Like at one point, he shifted his body weight completely to keep Macklin from falling on a move to the outside. El Phantasmo overshot a moonsault outside, and he moved just so to help break the fall. I mean, he did a lot of work that probably went mostly unnoticed. I I hate that I watch wrestling and like notice little things like that, but
Mm,
I also notice when they botch things and I'm terrified for them.
yeah.
So I really enjoy seeing somebody that knows what they're doing well enough to prevent those moments.
Yeah. It's it is something else. Um, well, one of the things that stuck out for me, I really, and I don't really feel like a lot of people are talking about this online, but I really enjoyed Deonna Purrazzo versus Mickey James, and Mickey James kind of really squeaked out a win there, which I really didn't think would happen because Mickey James was using everything against Deonna Purrazzo and just not getting the job done. Um, even after a ref bump, she used the chair on her, still couldn't steal the deal. So yeah, I don't know. It was just a really solid match. Again, I just love seeing these veterans do what they do. And yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen the full list, but I'm going to assume that Deonna Purrazzo is up there, like top five at least on that PWI women's list.
Yeah.
I know Bianca Belair was number one. She has had a great year, but I mean, Purrazzo, she's just incredible. Um, they did a very good job. If I don't know what the end game of having her drop the belt is, if it's so they can make this thing work with Britt Baker easier or what, but they made sure that even in losing here, she still looked like $1,000,000, and that's one of those things that is hard to do in a loss.
Yeah. Well, I'm interested to see what happens next. I hope there's some kind of alliance with Britt Baker of some sort, alliance or feud. I could go either one. I think both of those would be fun for them to do. And then we'll find out that pretty soon. Beyond that, the rest of the card, we had the Good Brothers retaining. It was okay match. And yeah, I don't really remember what else happened at this point. So that's
I
probably says what you need to say. Oh, there was
I
the
was
Heath Slater and Rhino
yeah.
thing, and Rhino came in to show up to help his team against violence by design. So
That ragtag bunch of violent guys.
yeah.
Um, I did really I enjoyed the opening match. I thought it was really well put together.
Oh right, yeah.
Especially with somebody Havoc's size. I mean, you see it a lot with like Nyla Rose, where the smaller competitors, it's hard to book a match that looks good because they're so outsized.
Hmm.
WWE has a horrible time of it with Nia Jax. Um, that could be mostly on
Right.
her too, but yeah, they did a great job. I mean, to take Havoc out of the match, you had the inspiration, throwing her into the ring posts and doing all the like the dirty heel shit that you need to do to win in a situation like that. I thought it was a really well put together match. And I mean, we have new knockout tag team champions already in their debut match is the inspiration.
Yeah. It's that'll be interesting to see for sure. And the crazy thing is there's all these rumors about all these like, oh, there's going to be surprise appearances, like kind of like Slammiversary and stuff. There really wasn't. Melina, everyone knew she was going to be on the show. Basically, that they were not even trying to hide. Like people saw it in the airport and everything. So that was about it. There was no Strowman. The biggest surprise we got was the Kiss Demon. That was
I was
really the
going to
only thing.
say the Gene Simmons impersonator was the only shock we got in the whole show. Watch it come out that like that was Strowman.
No, it's
Yeah.
apparently some dude that wrestled in WCW. So, and he hasn't really done much since like 2007. But they just brought him in. I wonder if he was local or something.
Like Glacier.
Yeah. Oh man. So let's move on. We were talking about botches earlier. Let's just kind of jump over to Dynamite. We had the AEW championship tournament going on to see who would face whoever wins Omega, who will be the first challenger after Full Gear. And in the match, we had a couple different matches on that show, but we had Lance Archer versus Eddie Kingston. Hard hitting match. Archer went for a moonsault, a move he's done probably hundreds of times at this point, and he under rotated, basically landed on his head. It looked real bad. Essentially got a roll up win for Kingston. No one looked happy. I mean, Kingston didn't look happy. It looked real bad, but good news is Archer at least is going to be okay. It sounds like he'll be off TV for a little while, but doesn't sound like, like I broke my neck or anything like super crazy like that. So good to hear that. But yeah, brutal. So but we had opening the match show, we had American Dragon versus Dustin Rhodes, and I thought it was an excellent match. Really, I don't think I was really there for Brian's heyday in 2013, 2014 and stuff like that, but I feel like that's what we're getting now. Like the people that really fell in love with him there, like this later run on WWE, I didn't quite connect with him, but I think I'm connecting with him here because there's just a lot of passion there. I mean, the match with Kofi was great in that WrestleMania, and he did some great work in WWE, but just what's really connecting with me is this run that he's doing. A lot of passion there.
Yeah, I agree. And on the other side of this match, they don't ever need to give Dustin Rhodes the what is it, the cowbell match or whatever the hell they kept doing, the cow strap. You don't have to do that. This guy is really fucking good at what he does, and every time they just put him in a match and let him do his thing, I don't know how at 4 decades of wrestling.
Yeah.
Somehow he gets better every time he gets in the ring. I don't get it. But yeah, he's great. It was a really, really good first round showing for Bryan Danielson. Oh my God, I got it right. Dustin, he's in this position now where he can take these losses and still look great, and it's a good role for him. I do wish that he spent a little more time in the ring with some of the younger guys, because I think that there's a lot of value there. But when you need a veteran to go out and make somebody that you're pushing look good, he's the guy for it.
Yeah. And it's just, there's just like, I don't know, this last year, I think there's been a lot of veterans that have really shown what they can do, and that still can really go as well. Like we talked about Chris Sabin, we talked about Moose at this point. Mickey James was definitely another person recently, like last night, that really did some excellent work. Dustin's up there for sure. And like you have Minoru Suzuki just going around like every wrestling promotion pretty much at this point. Like he was at GCW last night where he went over Nick Gage, which is nuts. Put Nick Gage, a Gotch style pile driver, through a door to win the match.
I was really nervous about what you were going to say. I'm not even going to watch it, and hearing about the shit Nick Gage goes through, it turns my stomach. I love the guy. I love the guy. Like his personality. I love the dude. I just don't ever want to watch him wrestle again.
Well, and the funny thing is, like, neither one of them were bleeding, so that was actually, I think it seemed like a very tame Nick Gage match, all things considered. He'll wrestle other styles, like besides just pure death match. So
Murder Grandpa didn't get the pizza cutter to the mouth.
Okay. No, yeah. So like all these veterans that have been around, it's just great to see. I mean, you can say the same thing about Bryan Danielson as well. At least wanted to have it one time where I said it correctly. I didn't think about it. It's a good time to watch. And I think a lot of these veterans that are in good physical condition are just really of real value to some of these younger stars. Another really good match in this tournament so far. We had on Rampage, we had Will Hobbs versus Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy still kind of injured uh, from the ladder match and stuff from prior. And I don't know, like the previous time Orange Cassidy and Will Hobbs met, it was AEW's shortest match at 12 seconds, where it was basically just a super, or what is it, Orange Punch, that took out Hobbs 1, 2, 3. The match was over. This time we had a real good match and a real good showing from Hobbs, who really just kind of dominated Orange Cassidy, and Orange Cassidy kind of barely squeaked out a win. And I thought that was excellent booking because he is big. He should be dominating a match with Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree, and I think too. Going back to the talent in the ring, we've literally watched Hobbs develop, like right before our eyes, and it's kind of been great. But yeah, he looked fantastic. I really like when the Team Taz guys have matches that are just straightforward. And I mean, this one was that. Like he didn't need all the shady crap to put on the match, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah, like you said, Orange Cassidy got the win here, but it really was more of a showcase for Hobbs than it was Cassidy.
Yeah. So we've got so far with the tournament, we've got next week we have 10 versus Dark Order's 10 versus Mox in our last first round match. We have Eddie Kingston versus Daniel Bryan, and then whoever wins that Mox 10 match will be facing Orange Cassidy. So it'll be a very interesting thing. I'm kind of calling. I think Bryan Danielson's going to win his side of the bracket, and
so Full Gear's going to be Mox Bryan Danielson.
I mean, possibly. I think so.
Wow. Okay.
And I don't know,
Minnesota just got a little bit warmer.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's going to be pretty good. I'm sure. I feel like the two have probably met in the ring at some point. But I don't know. Maybe it could have been. At least I think there might have been like a Team Hell No versus a Shield match or something. Maybe they've not met in a singles match, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I know they've been in a ladder match together because that first WrestleMania that we watched after being off there for a while, that they were in the ladder match together there. So we'll see. And then finally we had Malachi Black versus Cody Rhodes 3. What did you think about that?
Are we just going to refer to it as the Get the Glock match?
Oh my God. I can't believe the crowd was chanting that. That was
it's Florida,
was something else,
man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you would have gotten that chant anywhere else on earth. I don't know. I still don't understand why you get a rubber match in a feud that a guy has already won 2 matches. But I thought it was great. It was definitely nice to hear a crowd not boo Cody relentlessly.
Right.
Which I still like Cody a lot. And I really, it takes me out of things when the crowd boos him.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I'm not behind like Captain Patriotic, Homelander, and I certainly don't get behind the whole get the Glock thing. I did like that Cody, he kind of went back to he had a ruthlessness early on in AEW, the match at All Out or All In. I mean, he's gonna bleed when he's in a big match. Like he's just committed to that. But they put on a show. It was nice to see Cody like give it hell. I think Cody really took the worst of having to feud with QT for so long.
Yeah.
Like nobody comes out of that looking good. Like you somehow ruined Paul White by having him feud with QT. And I love that man. I've never seen somebody heel face turn 4 times on one show. And I will forever love him for that. But it's Jesus. Uh, QT is poison to anybody that gets close to him. There's probably a reason we haven't seen Anthony Ogogo for months. Um, but yeah, I thought the match was great. I thought it. I truly expected Black to just get another win here,
Mhm.
because I do worry that Cody picking one up is going to stretch this out, especially now that it seems like we're going to get some tag team stuff with Cody and Pac against Andrade and Black, which I messaged you after I watched Rampage the other morning, and the whole Andrade Black thing just feels random as hell. Um, they
Yeah.
they don't really go together. Black doesn't necessarily have like a mercenary vibe about him that I can believe that Andrade paid him to do this. If you're gonna pay somebody to beat the shit out of somebody, it's Wardlow. Like that's his job.
What does he have? He has a accountability buddy now.
Yeah. I I don't know. It's just it seemed super random to me. Um I did honestly the best part of the Black Cody match was probably Pac and Andrade fighting on the ramp. It
Oh yeah.
looked great, uh, and their match on Rampage. I mean, I there's
What a
not a
good
lot of
segue.
yeah, there's not a lot of televised matches that are that damn good that you don't have to pay to see, and that one was right up there for me. It
Yeah.
got a clean finish right before the lights went out. You got the random first look at Andrade's new buddy. Uh, I mean, I guess at least it wasn't the FTR in lucha masks again.
Yeah.
Um, but maybe Andrade is building his own NWO, and we're just not realizing it yet. Because that's sort of what the NWO was just kind of a random hodgepodge of dudes that got thrown together. Um, so maybe
I
that's where we're headed. It's how we get Ric Flair in here,
yeah.
inevitably, once the heat dies down from that Dark Side episode.
Yeah, I do think Andrade's had a lot of kind of starts and stops, not a clean entrance to AEW like Black has and some of these other people. But I do feel like he's now. It seems like he's finding his footing now, which is good to see. Because I know he's going to deliver great matches. Like also his first match was kind of a dud. He just didn't hit the ground running like some of these other people, which I think if it was kind of WWE, if so, it was someone coming straight into WWE, that might just be a dead on arrival thing. Like, but it looks like he was given a few more chances to kind of get it right,
Yeah,
and it seems like he's doing that.
I do hate that he turned on Chavo
Mm,
uh, in what seemed like was going to be the segue into him having Ric Flair with him.
yeah,
Only for 2 days later, the Ric Flair thing was squashed.
yeah. I guess it's just
Because
so weird.
I loved having Chavo on TV. I love that guy
Yeah,
so much.
it's just weird that like I guess like I don't even understand why they brought him in if he was going to immediate. I guess it's a stopgap thing until Ric Flair came in, but knowing that he was going to go back to being the wrestling coordinator on Young Rock, like they knew they had a short window, but I was just like, oh, we'll just do the short window and then we'll bring Ric Flair in, and then everything will be all right. So yeah, it just didn't work out for multiple reasons. I mean, Chavo did what he came there to do, so it just didn't work out. Anything else that stuck out to you on AEW? I think we covered all the big major things. Really,
Yeah, I think that was both shows.
the
I'm
last
not
thing,
I'm not a fan of the shows, the whole hour Friday and then Dynamite on Saturday thing. Everything just blurs together.
yeah,
Um, I don't know. I get it. The NHL is a big ticket item for the network. So, but I mean, it's not like it's not going to happen on TBS because they have the baseball rights.
Hmm.
I think they've got college football now. So there's all kinds of different. That's the downside of Turner is that they're trying to do everything with just the two networks.
Right. I think it'll be interesting too. I don't know exactly know why, but the West Coast feed for Dynamite this week is going to be at 10 Pacific, 11 p.m. Mountain. If you're watching the West Coast feed, and luckily I watch the East Coast feed anyway, so I can just watch it at 5. Although I won't be this week because I'll be in another
Yeah.
country. Um,
The There is a hockey game match. I think I don't know what hockey is. There is a hockey event that Dynamite will end on the East Coast as the hockey thing is starting,
uh,
and that's why they want to air the hockey live in on the West Coast. So they're going to do a taped delay or just further delay Dynamite for the West Coast.
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now that we're talking about it. So let's talk about what everyone wants to know.
Bill
How
Goldberg.
was how was Crown Jewel?
Crown Jewel was actually pretty good. I again, we've discussed at length the moral implications of doing shows in Saudi Arabia. That said, the crowd in Saudi Arabia is fantastic. They were electric the whole show, which is a lot because that show was almost 5 hours long. They knew all the chants. When Sasha did the triple suplex, they were chanting for Eddie. Like they were in it. They knew what they were doing. I also I it, it's all propaganda, but at the end of the day, there were little girls in the audience that got to see
Mhm.
that match happen. Um, I'm sure they were plants or whatnot in a lot of instances, to make Saudi Arabia look good. Um, the show on the whole, hell, it may have been better than WrestleMania. Um, Roman and Brock Lesnar put on a banger of a match. Um, like I, that may have been the longest I've seen Brock Lesnar work a match in a decade. Um, just great. The triple threat women's match was really good. Again, it's really weird to see the women wrestle in the pants have to go all the way to the ankle, shirts have to go all the way to the wrist, and they have to wear baggy t-shirts over top of the
Yeah.
wrestling tights. It's weird to watch. And the female ref also had to wear the undershirt. Um, it's just weird to see. That the women's title match was great. Becky retained, and it led to a kerfuffle to end SmackDown this week. We'll get there in
uh,
a minute. Bill Goldberg did not commit murder in Saudi Arabia. Some
he
part of me,
kind of tried. He
some
kind
part
of
of me
tried.
hoped that he might, because then he could just not be on WWE TV because he's in a Saudi prison. Um, but then we'd be without Bobby Lashley, and I really want to see what they do with the Hurt Business back together. Um, that match, it was fine. I know Bill's working hurt, but I think I texted you about halfway through. He moved for a guy that is built like that, even at his age. A guy that is built like that does a shitload of cardio. It's the only way to look like that as
Hmm.
you get older. Why does he move so fucking slow? Like that match could have been 3 minutes long if he moved like a normal human being, but
Yeah.
instead he moves like Michael Myers, and without camera tricks, you can't teleport like a slasher villain. So you just move real damn slow. That match had the pace of an Undertaker entrance. Um, it ended with a spear off a stage through a table, blah, blah, blah. Bill Goldberg defended his family's honor. Nobody really gives a shit. Um, see, the rest of the show, Xavier Woods was crowned king of the ring. He
That
had
was
a
really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had a really good match with Finn Balor. Uh, Zelina Vega picked up a win over Dewdrop in another one of those matches that was really well booked for the women, where one of the competitors is significantly, oversized compared to the other. And Dewdrop looked like a veteran. I mean, she made everything look great. So that was great to watch. I really hope they turn up the heel notch on Zelina Vega at this point, now that she's got a crown,
Yeah.
because she could do great things with it. Um, what else? Oh, our resident stoner may not have been high, but he was definitely high off the ground as he
Yeah.
rode a camel to the ring for his match. RK Bro retained. Randy Orton finally got his hands on Omos and made the most of it. Um, I really hope they don't try and just thrust Omos into the singles realm. He's worse than the Great Khali, in in competition. He still needs some work. Um, I think that may have been the whole card. Oh, Mansoor, of course, got
Uh,
another victory. I saw a,
WDZ's only hometown hero to ever actually win.
I saw a great meme today. If I can find it, I'll post it in the video here. Um, it was a side by side of Mean Mark Callis and the Undertaker, and it
Mhm.
said Mansoor when he wrestles in the U.S. and it was like Mean Mark Callis, and then Mansoor in Saudi Arabia is the like end of his career Undertaker.
Yeah.
I thought that was perfect. Um, they had a rematch on SmackDown. I'm pretty sure Ali got the win in Wichita, so we're right back to square one. Um, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the whole card. I don't think I've missed anything.
Another thing this week, Ryback showed up out of the shadows to like criticize Mansoor and be like, "Oh yeah, you can't, you know, be over and stuff." Like I don't understand. Like WWE can't even do that for you or something like that. And then all Mansoor did was send a screenshot of a Twitter poll that Ryback himself did. We're like, "Where would you like to see me in 2021?" It was like AEW like 12%, Impact like 13%, like back in WWE like 5%, and then retire 79%. Maybe the math's not quite right, but it's like retire overwhelmingly won
It had
on
some
that poll.
you had some Steiner math there, but it was close.
Yeah. Oh man. So yeah, that's the best Twitter own that Mansoor could have used at that moment. So
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Also, another weird thing, I'm beginning to think that these there are real Saudi fans there. There was a sign for the Acclaimed in the audience that's been making the rounds on Twitter because it's like that's a deep cut. I think like if you're at a WWE show in Saudi Arabia, which is like basically the only wrestling you probably get there, like easily anyway, and then you were watching AEW and you're a fan of the Acclaimed, that's some dedication, I think, at that point. So it's a point where I thought it was Photoshop, but it's apparently a real thing. The sign was real.
Is it bad that when you said that, my first instinct was that they like the Acclaimed because he said bad things about Simone Biles?
I mean, maybe that might be why. So yeah, I don't know, but that's just crazy that there are Saudi Acclaimed fans uh, that decided also to take that to our WWE show. Like they took their Acclaimed sign. That's just nuts. I feel like it's one of the few times where WWE is like, yeah, we're not even going to ask anybody not to to hold up any other signs from other companies because we're not going to even attempt to talk to the fans or cause any kind of incident.
Well, at the same time, the people they send out into the crowd that look for signs to take away probably saw that and thought, I don't know what the hell that is.
Yeah.
That might be some local thing from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. Oh man.
That's
What
right,
else? So
Caster. I'm talking shit.
someone who has been talking shit is Top Dollar. Top Dolla. from Hit Row about AEW and about the Acclaimed. So
I'm gonna need you to, every time you reference Hit Row, I need you to enunciate dollar. Uh,
yeah, because that was wrong. Anyway,
that guy
uh,
top dollar.
yeah.
I love it.
Um,
I love it.
yeah, so it looks like he's gotten some attention from Vince McMahon, and looks like instead of Swerve being the singles guy, it looks like he's gonna be instead. So that's a surprise to me, but
We
we'll
we
see.
we all know that's a horrible misstep.
Yeah,
It's sort of like if you immediately have Omos challenge Big E at this point.
yeah,
I Top Dollar was good in NXT as part of that tag team, but we all know the money of Hit Row is Swerve
yeah,
all day long. Swerve should have been called up by himself 2 years ago. Uh, Swerve probably should have been cruiserweight champion 10 times already.
yeah.
The cruiserweight championship that I don't know who has it or if it still exists. So if you know, drop me a message. Let me know. I could Google it, but that's less fun. I just want to know if anybody knows it off the top of their head. Who is the current cruiserweight champion?
It's Tony Nese. He won it right before he got fired, and no one bothered to get it back from him.
How did we talk about Dynamite, not mention Tony Nese?
I don't know.
I have a question for. Look, I know you got to do the suit and tie Vince McMahon putting him in the front row of the crowd thing. At the same time, when the camera pans to Tony Nese and he's wearing a shirt, that eliminates the point of having Tony Nese. I need those 8 reasons why he's better than me.
Yeah,
The promo battle he's going to cut with MJF eventually is going to be amazing. But back to where we were. Yeah, Top Dollar is apparently going to get a singles push. Swerve will be relegated to the tag division. That, as we all know, gets no love on
yeah,
WWE TV unless it's the Usos. Um, I got you. There's so much talent, and tag team wrestling clearly has a market. That's 90% of what AEW is. Um, I don't get it, but hopefully they get to put on some great matches. You know, Swerve and I'm spacing on the third guy's name, but
yeah. Me too.
I mean, they could work a hell of a match with Street Profits, New Day, Usos. I mean, the list is extensive. Hell, they could probably put on one hell of a match just based on how good Randy Orton is at wrestling and all the acrobatic stuff that Matt Riddle does. They could have a hell of a match with RK Bro if they were on the same show, of course. So maybe we'll get the tag titles in their hands before Survivor Series so we can see that match.
Yeah, that sounds great. So kind of guide us through at least what we know on this whole SmackDown Women's title bullshit, basically.
All right. So the one thing that has been just outright confirmed is that Charlotte did not think any of this was a good idea, and lobbied for Bianca Belair to cleanly win the Raw Championship from her on Raw last week. I don't disagree with her. Because one, the title swapping thing it's ridiculous and shows that you aren't really changing anything. And then two, there were no stakes in that match at Crown Jewel because with Charlotte retaining, you knew exactly what was coming. That the only person in that match still on SmackDown was Sasha, and they weren't going to let Charlotte take the belt to Raw or to SmackDown without the other women's
Yeah,
belt coming back to Raw. So I mean, they took all the stakes out of that triple threat match, and I mean, your top female talent, arguably, we'll call it top 3, just for the sake of in case one Twitter troll listens to this and wants to give me shit about it. I still wholeheartedly believe that Charlotte is the top woman in WWE. Just athleticism and the matches that she has. I still wholeheartedly believe it. She may not sell the merch that Becky does, but when she comes to you, be you Vince McMahon or whoever throughout the ladder that she brings this to and says, I truly believe it's best for business that I lose. That's a Flair telling you they think it's a good idea for them to lose a match. Um, have have they ever heard that before?
Yeah.
So apparently, Charlotte thought she should drop the belt to Bianca clean, set Bianca up coming into Raw as the champion, put some more stakes in that match at Crown Jewel. Hey, maybe Sasha's gonna pull this off. Um, Even if you leave the belt on Becky, you can find it's not like you're not going to have these people bopping back and forth across brands when you need to boost ratings. Um, so you could have found a way to get the belt back to SmackDown if you needed to. That said, apparently there was some there's 300 different reports of how this went down. But when Charlotte went to hand the belt to Becky, the belt ended up on the ground. Um, One or both felt slighted in this instance. I don't know. They didn't look happy that they had to do this segment anyway.
I mean,
Um,
it's a dumb idea for segment. It should just be, if they did it at all, it should have just been a quick backstage thing.
th-
That, you know,
like
not
they
in front of
did
people.
like they did when the Usos and New Day
Yeah.
swapped. It was all backstage. It's fine. I don't need Sonya Deville out there facilitating. I don't need Sasha involved. Just swap the damn belts backstage. It's fine. This this was the main event of SmackDown.
Yeah.
The show opened with 45 minutes of absolute carnage and amazingness from Roman and Brock Lesnar. And yet this title swapping shit closed SmackDown.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar F5'd Adam Pearce so hard he split his pants as part of this. Adam Pearce suspended Brock Lesnar. He got F5'd so hard his pants exploded. Like, this should have ended the show. Adam Pearce laying there in a just a pile of just beaten, broken human. Instead, we got, what a lot of people are saying is a 2-year-old petty beef between Charlotte and Becky about something that was said in a promo. I don't believe
Plastic.
any. Yeah, I don't believe any of this shit. I mean, it is what it is. They've worked together for those 2 years, and it's never been an issue. So they're professionals at this point. But apparently it spilled over backstage, and then Charlotte just got in the car and left without like figuring this out or talking to Vince or any of that. I think she's in don't give a fuck mode.
Right.
Honest to God. And I think that's what pisses the rest of them off at this point is she just does not care anymore. She doesn't care what Vince thinks. She doesn't care what the audience thinks. She doesn't want to be there. She's got enough money at this point. She has reached the point in life where she has I don't give a fuck money, and she just wants to be cut loose so she can go do something else. I I think that's really what the problem is. She doesn't care, and it bothers everybody else. Now, I could be off base there. She could be completely invested in her role in the company. But I think that a lot of this is stemming from other people having or taking issues with Charlotte in general be it the way she's been booked for several years or whatnot. I it's a rare instance when you can say I don't think this is a Flair's fault, but in this instance, I truly just don't. I think it's just a
Yeah.
shitty situation they were put in where they had to do something neither one of them wanted to do, and tensions and frustrations at that company have apparently been high for 2 years now. So I mean, it just something bubbled up. I don't think that it's not like they're going to find each other in a parking lot somewhere else, beat the hell out of each other. Um, it, I don't know. I think it's this grotesquely overblown situation where people are making something of it. It's a Daily Mail, Fox News headline.
Yeah.
It's something that's getting blown up when I don't think it's anything.
Well, here's what I'm going to suggest we do here. We're going to end this episode. When we got Halloween Havoc, but we're going to do a separate second episode that'll show up on Monday as a Halloween Havoc preview. So we're going to wrap this episode up and take it away, Matt.
Like, subscribe, ring the bell, do all that fun stuff. If you are on the YouTube page, like if you like watching us talk about wrestling, I really appreciate it. I know we're probably not the most entertaining faces to stare at. So I truly appreciate it. Share it with your friends, share it on your Facebook page, get the word out there. All of our international listeners, because we get the metrics, so we know you exist. We really appreciate you too, because I don't know how the hell you found us. So keep spreading the word. Like, I want to, by the time they do SummerSlam in the UK again, I want somebody to have a fucking sign for us at this show. So just start sharing it. We don't make any money doing this. So we're going to be in the UK for that SummerSlam on our own dime. We're not going to have media passes. I just want to see somebody with a fat head of one of us. Like, how cool would that be? But yes, we truly appreciate everybody who listens. If you did not watch Bound for Glory, at the very least, watch Impact Wrestling on Twitch this week so that you can see the recap of just the brutal moment that ended that show. As much as I love Moose, that was truly messed up. But yes, like, subscribe. We appreciate it, and we will see you on Monday.